Minor adjustments are dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere but backwards. The word in that mission statement, it says to obtain, and the other one is maintain. Listen to me. To obtain means to come into the possession of something. Maintain means to keep it in existence. Listen, the reason why I say that, everybody say to obtain my sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Say to obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Minor Adjustments virtual group. My name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. To obtain our sobriety is easy. My challenge is to maintain it. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards. It's on the screen. Before we get into the lesson for tonight, I'm going to put a link into the comment section for anybody who would like to purchase any workbooks, any things dealing with minor adjustments. There goes the link to all the things that we have on our website. Also, I want to put in there a link to the playlist of all our previous lessons. You get the link to the playlist, you'll be able to go through many different topics that we have been doing from the workbook and from the Minor Adjustments Facilitators workbook. So I want you to have those things so you'll be able to just see all the things that we have for you. Today, as always, we pick a particular topic, and we're going to pick a topic from this particular book, the Minor Adjustments Workbook. This is the student's manual, and we also have a facilitator's manual that we use. And it's awesome because when we're going over it, this is the facilitator's manual right here, whereas though you'll be able to learn certain things. We got second lessons, part 2 lessons in this book, and we're using the first workbook, and we got a lot of different things that we can learn for minor adjustments. But today we're going to pick up from in this particular book, and we're going to talk about there's a purpose in your past. There's a purpose in your past. So let's go to the mission statement. I like to reiterate this mission statement. It says minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Those 2 words that are big on the screen highlighted is obtain and to maintain. To obtain means to come into the possession of something on page 6. To maintain means to keep something in existence. The reason why this is very important is because when you get delivered from something, right, all you have to do is maintain from that particular perspective. However, most individuals, I'm talking from experience, most individuals put more emphasis on getting off of drugs and alcohol and put less effort and emphasis on staying off. So to maintain means to keep something in existence. In August 2009, I obtained my sobriety. I did not have to go obtain my sobriety in August 2010. I simply had to develop my spiritual development, my spiritual foundation, relapse prevention skills, life skills, build a support network, build up all the things that I needed to help me maintain it. So to obtain means to come into the possession of something. To maintain means to keep something in existence. You do not, I repeat, have to keep being delivered from something once you get delivered and set free from it. Once you get delivered and set free from it, all you got to do is continue, just maintain from that point forward. All right. So let's see. Today we're going to be talking about there's a purpose. There's a purpose in our past. So we'll look at that, and we'll get to the page where I want to get. And each group we go over, we always have what's called an expectation for the group. So every section we go, each group that we do, each session will have an expectation. This particular expectation is that everyone will get down to the core. I'll explain that in a minute. Everyone will get down to the core. It's very important. There's a purpose in your past. In order for you to begin the process of allowing your past to push you into your destiny, you must first know that you still have a purpose for living, despite all the bad choices and situations and negative things you have done in your past. So many people want their lives to have meaning. They want to do the right thing, but are often unsure what that is or entails. Do remember, you and I were created to do something extraordinary. You have a purpose. You have a purpose. That is something that you have to reiterate to yourself. Often, no matter, it has been 15 years that I have been delivered from my drug and alcohol situation, right? But I still remind myself daily that I have a purpose. Part of my purpose is to encourage and to exhort individuals into action. So one of my foundational gifts is to encourage and to exhort individuals, but not to just encourage and exhort individuals. That's my purpose. That's my call. But there's a lot of individuals who can encourage you and then exhort you, but they don't encourage you and exhort you and to be active. When I try to encourage individuals or exhort individuals as my purpose, as my foundational gift that God has given me, I want individuals to go into action, meaning don't just get inspired or motivated. I want you to actually do something with that inspiration or motivation. So you got to understand there's a difference. So you got to understand when I said everyone will get down to the core, if you take an apple and you peel the skin off the apple, right? If you peel the skin off the apple, take the skin out back, and you bury it in some good fertilizer, right? And you still won't produce what's called the greatness of the apple, right? If you take that same apple and you peel the skin off of it, you cut the piece that you can eat. If you take the pieces you can eat, bury it in some good soil, again, you still won't produce the greatness that's actually in the apple. Now, watch this. Excuse me. If you peel that same apple, cut through the skin, the pieces you can eat, you'll come across the part of the apple that's we call the core. When you break through the core, you get to that seed. The seed actually represents the greatness that you have inside of you. That seed represents the greatness that you have inside of you. This is why I'm telling that everyone will get down to the core. Now, in order for you to get to that seed, you have to break through the core. In our relationships with our addictions, we have to break through the core of why we do what we do. Right? Because we don't just constantly just continue to do things that can possibly end our lives. It's a reason, and we have to get down to that core of why would I go back to something that can possibly end my life and put my family and my situation or my family and my loved ones in a situation where they be so stressed out because now they're missing you. So getting down, everyone will get down to the core means why would I do what I do? It's always something that you can tap into individually. Each individual is different, right? I'm not saying it's the reason that we do it, right? But we have something inside of us. One of the things that I teach about all the time is it's an inside job, right? Inside of us, we have a reason why we do it. So even though the reason might not be a there's nothing really justifiable about me putting heroin in my body that could possibly end my life. But there are reasons that we associate with us doing it. If we get down to that reason and eliminate it, right? Because it's no real reason. There's absolutely no reason for us to put heroin in our body. I'm just talking about the reason that we blame or use. Get down to the core or why we do what we do. And when we find out this is why I do it, this is why I do it, we can eliminate that, because really that's not really the reason why we do it. But we got to get down to the core of why we do what we do. I hope you understand that. So the word purpose means to set as an aim, intention, or goal for oneself. The reason for which something exists. The reason for which something exists. Next bullet. Who are you? Now watch this. I wrote this in my book. I hope you got the book. If you download it, I'll give y'all the link to a PDF copy of it. Normally, other people tend to see your true potential before you see it. Normally, other people will see your true potential before you see it. If you ever heard, I know this is to be true, have you ever heard other individuals tell you, you could be doing a lot more different things with your life versus what you're currently doing? That's because they see your potential. Many people, not many people, but a few people told me about things that I could be doing in my life that I'm literally living out right now, but I didn't see it. They saw the potential that I had before me. So when you read who are you, most people talk about what they do. When you think about who are you, most people don't really know who they are, especially if they've been living for 22 years. I was living with crack cocaine and heroin, right? Living that lifestyle. For 15 years, I've been away from it, right? So that's basically letting you know that I've been living that way longer than I've been living this way. So to find out who you are, it's an inside job. You're going to have to get selective and quiet yourself down and spend some time with the God of my understanding, Jesus Christ, to help you understand who you truly are as He created you. Now watch this. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? One of the greatest things that we can do is to find out. I learned this recently. To find out what your initial purpose is, make that particular purpose your foundation, or the trunk, right, of a tree, the trunk of the tree, and then everything else will grow up off of the trunk of the tree, right? So when you find out what's your purpose, you got a lot of different gifts. I'm telling you, listen to me. You have a lot of different gifts, but you won't really tap into them gifts until you find out the initial purpose that you have. When I mentioned this is a gift, this is my purpose for sure, is to encourage individuals, to exhort them. And that's my foundational gift right there, to encourage individuals. But the difference about the anointing or the gift of encouraging other individuals as my purpose is I don't want to just encourage them to just don't do nothing. I want to encourage them into activity. I need them to do something with the motivation and encouragement that I has given them. Okay, so there's different things. But what's your purpose? Yeah, you have to find out what you cannot. You do not want to just exist. When you just exist means you get up with nothing and no plans. Although plans go awry or goals you set might not go according to how you had them planned out, you do not want to just exist. When you find out what's my particular purpose, if I didn't mention it, I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. Everything that I do is in line with the purpose that I started out of, encouraging and exhorting other individuals. When I started walking in my true purpose of encouraging individuals, all the other things came off of that tree trunk. Okay, I hope you get that. Listen, you have to find out first what your purpose is. Once you find out what your particular purpose is, there's going to be other things that come up to help you in regards to your purpose. Let's see what else we got here. This is some good stuff here. Are you aiming for anything of importance? Are you aiming for anything of importance? If you see, I have written down here in my book, I'm aiming to provoke you to change. I can't change people. My wife can't change people. People don't change because of what I say. People change. I want to be, people can get provoked to change. They can see you, you tell them how your life was, and they start scratching their head. Wait a minute, what's different from me and him? Absolutely nothing. I want you to see that just like my life changed, your life can change. There's a process that you have to start on. The number one thing you have to put in your memory bank is you can't go backward. You cannot go backwards and still try to change what you're doing when you're trying to go to your destiny. So are you aiming for anything of importance? Do you have any goals? What are you aiming for? Are you trying to accomplish something? Are you trying to get your GED? Are you trying to get your license restored? Are you trying to get that employer to let you get that job back? How about your marriage? Are you aiming for anything of importance? Are you trying to complete a program? Like whatever you're aiming for, you have to have that in your memory bank, because if you just existing, right? If you're just getting up and you're just existing every day, it's just going to be like not a successful day if you're not aiming for anything, right? All right, next one. Do you have a goal or a purpose? Purpose is the master of motivation and the mother of commitment. So I remember I went back. Let me go back one page. What's your purpose? This is why what's your purpose is in front of all these other bullets. Do you have a goal or a purpose? Why? Because purpose is the master of your motivation. Once you find out what your particular purpose is, you'll be motivated. Oh man, listen, there's a lot of different things that you can get motivated on in regards to your purpose. But once you tap into your purpose, that will give you motivation. I look forward to waking up in the morning. Like today, I had to go to like 12 or 13 different individuals' houses who have suffered from an overdose and try to reach out to them to try to help them get some treatment for their issues, right? That's a purpose, to be able to go to work, get a list of individuals who had just suffered an overdose and possibly make contact with them and encourage them to try to get help. That's purpose, right? It's motivating knowing that when I get to work today, I got 12 different men and women now that I get to go try to encourage and help them in the process of starting the process of getting changed. It motivates me. It motivates me because if I can help one of those individuals, and one of those individuals, or all of them, prayerfully, none of them die, and I can help one of them, then that's a motivation. That's a purpose. I'm not saying that you have to do the exact same thing. I'm simply trying to tell you that there's a purpose in your past. So whatever your purpose is, the purpose, let's read it again. Purpose is the master of motivation. It gets you started. Purpose is like the gas in your car. That's good. Purpose is the gas you put in your car to get you motivated. Woo! That's a tweak right there. So purpose is the master of motivation and the mother of commitment. To reach your purpose, let's look down here at the bottom. To reach your purpose, you must ask yourself 3 questions. What's my present situation? What's my desired destination? And what's the in between? So this is important. To reach your purpose, you have to find out what's my present destination, right? What's my desire? What's my present situation? I'm sorry. What's my desired destination? And what are the steps in between? So when you're trying to fulfill the purpose that you have to be honest and say, what's my present situation? Your present situation might mean you're in a particular facility, or you just graduated a program, or you in the sober living house, transitional house, or you might just be in your own house, right? You need to locate or say, this is my present situation. Now, to reach your purpose, now you have to have, what's your desired destination? What you trying to do, right? Remember I told you, you can't just exist. So your present situation is this. Your desired destination is that. Now you need to figure out, what do I have to do in the middle? Let me use my own personal life as an example. When I was in the Salvation Army in Wilmington, Delaware, that was my present situation. I was in the facility. My desired destination was to create some curriculum or workbook or program to be able to come back to the same facilities that I used to be in and help the individuals who are struggling with the same thing that I was once struggling with. Now watch this. All of that was my desired destination. But my present situation was I was in the Salvation Army. Now, what was the steps in between? I had my present situation. My desired destination was to create a program to teach the individuals. But my steps in between was, the first step was I couldn't go back. So once I learned that I can't go back to what I used to do, that started the process of me getting approval, getting my driver's license, getting my GED, getting approved to go into different facilities that I once was housed in. In order to get approved to go into these facilities, they want reference letters from different people who are in high places. You need somebody to vouch for you. These are all the steps in between me getting to my desired destination. Now, 14 years later, it's not as hard as it was when I initially was trying to get to my destination. I'm simply letting you know, in order for you to reach your purpose, let's look at this again at the bottom. To reach your purpose, you must ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what's my present situation? Check that off. 2, what's my desired destination? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish? What is my goal? And then 3, what are the steps in between? What do I need to do in order for me to see my goal, see my desired destination manifest itself? So if you think about me, I had the desired destination was the Mind Adjustments program, which was called Mighty Men and Women of God at that time. It has manifested because now I have workbooks. Actually, look at this. I have 2 books that came off of my desired destination. When I had the desired destination, I only had 1 book in mind. But now I have 2 workbooks and all types of things attached to that desired destination. So you got to remember, what's the steps in between? They the things you got to focus on. Let's see. No matter what anyone says to you, or no matter how you look at it, the fact remains that you have a purpose for this world and you have a reason for living. Telling yourself that you have a purpose, even though your present situation may leave you feeling broken inside. However, this is a great place for you to begin. Start by encouraging yourself. Stop waiting on others. Tell yourself, I have a purpose. 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 It's very important that you encourage yourself, because if you can't connect to the individuals who usually or normally encourage you or motivate you, then you'll be kind of stuck. Right? There's nothing wrong with what they do, but you want to always try to learn to encourage yourself. I do. Listen, I'm telling you this. I am not lying. I tell myself periodically, I'll be in the car and say, I have a purpose. I might not be having a so-called good day. Things might not look like they're going how I had planned them. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. And the more you encourage yourself, the better you'll feel about what you're trying to accomplish. Now, it's nothing wrong about individuals encouraging you and exhorting you. I told you that is one of my gifts. My primary gift is to encourage individuals and exhort individuals into action, though. I don't want to encourage them and motivate them to do nothing. I want them to encourage them and exhort them into action. I want active faith. I need them to do something. But you have to learn how to encourage yourself. Tell yourself, I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. It's very important for you to tell yourself these things, because in the Bible, it says David was greatly distressed, but David encouraged and strengthened himself. He encouraged and strengthened himself. He didn't wait for other individuals to do it. He did it himself. So it's very important that you get into that same vein of encouragement. Remember, there's a purpose in your past. The purpose you have can be discovered by allowing your past to push you. You can learn, you can use your past to actually push you into something great, but you have to process it right. It's always about your perspective. Let's see what we got. Then we got some more here. Let's see down here. I want to read this. It says success isn't always going to be a huge contract. You can be successful if you just live out your purpose in life. This is important. Sometimes people might go after a salary and feel like they fulfilled their purpose. Granted, you can fulfill your purpose by receiving a certain amount of finances, right? But if you tap into your true purpose, right, it will be priceless of how joyful it will make you feel. Let me give you an example. I know that it's part of my purpose to help individuals who struggle with substance use disorder or criminal lifestyle or strongholds or need deliverance and healing, right? I know that that's part of the purpose that God has given me for my life, right? It's so joyful and priceless when I come across individuals that I was able to encourage and exhort, and they started the process of change. And again, remember, I said I can't change men. That's not something I do. I provoke individuals to want to change. But when I come across these men and women who had started the process, and they be grateful that God had put me in a position to lead them to some type of deliverance or healing, right? It's priceless to see the expression on their face and say, thank you, man. I pretty appreciate you for connecting me to this and doing this for me. That right there is priceless. Now let's read this again. It says, success isn't always going to be a huge contract. You can be successful if you just live out your purpose in life. Remember, living out your purpose in life is the ultimate goal. You want to live out your purpose despite how your life might have been previously. It doesn't mean how you started out your life that it's going to stay that way. Remember our lesson for today. There's a purpose in your past. That means that no matter what your particular past was, something, if you sit back and think about your past, not to hold you in bondage, there's a purpose in there. If you process it right, think about certain things, you'll be able to see my particular purpose for my life. I'm telling you something that I have learned by experience. Let's see. Most people don't live out their purpose because of pressure, but pressure produces what's in you. Woo! Listen to me. You ever heard pressure bust pipes? One of the things that I've learned is no matter how many pipes that I saw burst, right, because due to pressure, but the only thing that came out of the pipe was whatever was in it. So it wasn't like the pipes burst and something came out of there that wasn't in the pipes, right? The pipes burst and Skittles came out. The pipes burst and Snickers came out, right? No. The only thing that came out of the pipes was whatever was in it, right? So I said all that to say this. When you feel like you're under a lot of pressure, the only things that's going to come out is whatever you have in you. This is why I tell individuals it's an inside job. You have to feed yourself new information and positive things. So when you find yourself under pressure, you don't actually panic because the only thing that's going to come out is whatever you have in you. Again, we just talked about a brief study today about there's a purpose in your past. Again, I want you to understand this last particular thing, and I'm going to go back to it. Watch this. Here it is. Start by encouraging yourself. Stop waiting on others. Tell yourself, I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. I have a purpose. No matter what situation you find yourself in, there will always be things that bring you a lot of pressure. However, no matter how long you've been struggling with an addiction, no matter how many people have given up on you, there's a purpose in your past. In order for you to maximize your purpose, in order for you to reach your purpose, you have to ask yourself these three questions. What's your present situation? What's your desired destination? What are you trying to do? And then you ask yourself, what are the steps in between? You will not reach your destination if you first don't count the cost of what you have to do in here. The number one thing that you must lock in, and it's going across the screen right now, is anywhere but backwards. You gotta lock that in. Again, my name Michael Mickey Williams Jr. This was just a little lesson, a brief lesson about there's a purpose in your past. I hope you have a great day. Remember, Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week, and we'll look into the next topic of this particular workbook. God bless y'all. Thank you for your time. Awesome.